Hello, welcome to my channel. I made a corset top with just zipper, no hidden lacing, no rope whatsoever, and this is the fitting. In this tutorial, I share the hack I used in achieving this fitting with just my zipper. If you are interested in this tutorial, you want to stay tuned to the end and let's learn. So we'll start by making the back of this top. For the back length is 25 inches in length, while the front is 27 inches. Okay, so I'll be altering that later on. Let's work on the back. So for the back, just going with your back measurements. My back is 13 divided by 2 give me 7. So I repeated 7 there. At that 7 points as well, 7 inches points, you want to come down by 1 inch. At that 1 inch mark, you want to come down and repeat your chest line measurement. To get your chest line measurement, you want to divide your bust by 6. And add 1.5 inch to whatever result you get. Okay, so that was what I did here. At that point as well, you want to impute that same 7 inches you have at the upper part, impute it at that's your chest line measurement. Okay, so I'm imputing mine, which is 7 inches. So let's go ahead now and impute all our measurements. So from the shoulder, I imputed my bust, which is 10, my waist, which is 16, and then the 22 inches that end leg. Okay, then also impute your total blouse length. You won't be needing your other bust for the back. Impute it at the other side as well to help you when making a straight mark so that your markings can be even. All right, so I'll just go ahead now and highlight this and make it more visible. So at the center back of the shoulder, you want to go in by 3 inches for us to plot our shoulder slope. So from that 3 inches, just connect it to that 1 inch mark you came down with from before. Now, remember our chest line measurements, which mine is 8.5. I divided it into 2, and at the middle point I got 4¼ at that 4¼ mark. You want to go in by ½ inch. Okay, so now from that 4 inch mark, connect it directly to the beginning of your shoulder. Once you're done, just leave it. Let's input all other measurements in order to help us to achieve our curve for the armhole. So for the bust line, I imputed my bust circumference divided by 4. At the chest line, you want to go up you want to add 1/4 inch to that your bust measurement. So mine was 9 inches. I added 1/4 inch and made it 9¼ at the waist. I will impute my waist circumference of 32 inches divided by 4, which gave me 8. I'll also be adding 1 inch for my darts. At the hip line, I'll be imputing my hip circumference of 40 divided by 4, which gave me 10. So now I'll go ahead now and connect from my chest line to my waist to my hips. All right, from your waistline to your hips, you can either make it a straight one like you see that I did, or you can either make it curved. Okay, so at that hip line, I'm just going to go ahead by 3 inches. All right, because I want the hem of the top to be curved. So just go ahead and make it curvy. You can even make it straight as well. The ball, like they say, is in your court. Okay, so we are done drafting a basic bodice block for the back. So now we'll go ahead now and complete our armhole curve. Just go ahead and complete it like you see. Also cross check your measurements before cutting out. Very important. All right, so let's impute our dart. For your dart, you want to start from your waistline, go in by 4 inch. At the bust as well, go in by 4 inch, and at the hip as well, go in by 4 inch. With the help of your ruler, connect these marks, making a straight marks. Alright. Now the shoulder parts, the remaining shoulder will be dividing it into 2. From that shoulder slope to the end of the shoulder, divide it into 2. At that middle part, connect it to your bust line. Alright. So now at the waistline, you want to, at that 4 inch mark, you want to divide it into 2. Go in by ½ inch on one side and ½ inch on the other side. Now you'll be connecting that to connect from the waistline to the bust point, and also from the waistline as well to that 22 inches mark. That end leg. Okay, so that's what that 22 inches mark is actually there to guide us on where to impute our darts. Let's alter our neckline. So I want mine to be as low as 7 inches. So you can see I imputed at 7 inches. I also just connect it now to my bust line because I want it to be as deep as that. So that's all for the curve line. From the waistline, you want to go in by half inch to avoid deeper bulge. It actually helps in making your outfit fit because our back is not straight, okay? So from that waistline, just connect it to that 22 inches mark again. And from that waistline, connect it to your bust. Once you're done, just go ahead and cut out your patterns. Before cutting out your patterns, make sure you label them side back, center back. You can also make use of an arrow to ensure to help you know that okay, this side is meant to face up because of the nature of this style we are making. The patterns might look same if you don't number them. All right, so let's work on the front pattern. For the front pattern as well, we want to go ahead and impute our bust. Our back is 14 divided by 2 give us 7. I also went in from the center front and imputed my shoulder slope. Okay, then for the front, you're going to be making use of 1.5 for your shoulder slope as against the 1 inch we used for the back. Impute your chest line, your bust, shoulder to your bust, shoulder to your under bust, shoulder to your waist, the 22 inches mark, and also the full blouse length. Remember, the full blouse length for the front is 27. I'll roll out my lines now and make it obvious for you to see. From that shoulder line, I'll impute that same shoulder of 7 inches at the chest line. Now you want to rule a straight mark from your shoulder to your chest line to help you to make a straight armhole. Also from that 3 inches shoulder slope we came in by, connect it to that 1.5 inch you came down by. All right, now we are going to be imputing our armhole. Remember our chest line is 8.5. Divide that by 2 will give you 4 1/4. At that 4 1/4 mark, you want to go in by 0.75. All right, now connect from that 0.75 upwards. Once you're done, just leave it at that. Let's impute our bust circumference and all, then we complete our armhole. So at the bust line, I'll impute my 9 inch. At the chest line, I will add 1/4 of an inch to that 9 inch, which will make it 9 1/4. At under bust circumference of 32 gave me divided by 4 gave me 8. Waist circumference of 32 divided by 4 gave me 8 as well. And I will impute my hip circumference of 40 as well divided by 4 gave me 10. At the waistline as well, I'll be imputing my dart of 1 inch. So once you're done now, just go ahead and connect your measurements together. Now let's complete the armhole as well. So you want to make sure it is sitting properly at the chest line and connect it. So this is what we have. Now let's alter this pattern to make our corset. To start, you want to impute your nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inch. 8 inch divided by 2 will give me 4. So I'm just imputing that 4 inch mark at the bust, the under bust, the waist. Impute it also at the 22 inches mark and the total blouse length. That's your nipple to nipple divided by 4. So now just go ahead and make a straight mark to connect those 4 inches marks you made. You also want to label your bust points, your under bust, your waist, and also your hip line. Now at the waistline, remember that 1 inch mark we added for that. Go ahead and impute it at that 4 inch you came in by. Impute half inch on both sides of that waistline. So now from the waistline, connect it to your bust. Also from that waistline, connect it to the 22 inches mark. This will help in creating the darts. Okay. For under bust tightening, you want to remeasure your under bust circumference divided by 4. Mine was 8. So whatever you have left there, you're going to divide it evenly under the under bust at that part. Okay. So now this is what I'm doing here now. I just remeasured my under bust of 8 inch and I made a mark there. Then I check what I had left and I have 1 1/4 left. That 1 1/4 I divided it evenly. At the shoulder part, you want to work from the shoulder slope to the end of the shoulder. Divide what you have there evenly. From that middle point, now connect it to your bust point. We want to make use of this to achieve our over bust tightening. So once you're done with this marking, just connect a straight line from that middle point to your bust point. Now to carve out our corset, you'll be going in by half of an inch from the center front, go in by half of an inch at the bust point, at the chest line, at the under bust. We are altering this and I'm also using it as a guideline to achieve our fitted corset. Okay, so now go ahead as well and rule a straight mark at this point there. To achieve the curved part of our cupped corset, I'll be going in by 1.5 inch from the side seam. If you're working with a busty person, you want to go in by 1 inch so the cup relaxes perfectly on their bust. So I'll be connecting that my 1.5 inch to my under bust part, making use of the curved part of my ruler. So you can see I'm just trying to make sure that my ruler is sitting perfectly at that 1.5 inch and is also sitting perfectly at my under bust. So this is what you want to achieve. Twist your ruler in a way it is sitting perfectly, very comfortably on your under bust and also at that 1.5 inch. So at the same time, I will connecting from the bust to that under bust tightening that we did. Okay, so you want to use the straight part of your ruler and just connect it perfectly. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Connect from the under bust tightening to your bust point. For the center front, you want to make use of the curved part of your ruler, connecting from the under bust to that half inch that we came in by at the center front. At the same time as well, just like we did for the side, you want to make sure that the curved part of your ruler is sitting in between that half inch you came in by and also sitting perfectly at the under bust. This will help in making sure that your cup is full and it's packing your bust perfectly. Now connect from that under bust to your waist and from the waist as well to the 22 inches mark. Just make sure that all your darts intake is well taken. All right, let's work on the neckline. Remember that we came in by 7 inch from the back, so we'll be repeating that 7 inches again at the front here because I want it to be even. But for the center front, I went in by 9 inch. One rule is you want to make sure that it is half inch above your bust point. You want to make sure it is half inch above your bust point or maximum of 1 inch. If you do it this way, it will help in giving that you're giving your corset that curvy look, that bra shape look. Okay, so I just came up by 1 inch, which means I measured from my shoulder to my 9 inch mark. Remember my shoulder to bust is 10 inch, so I went up by 1 inch, which makes it 9 inch. Now that over bust tightening, you want to go in by 0.75 at the two sides. Okay, I went in by 0.75 at the two sides, so I'll be connecting from that my 0.75 now to my bust point. Okay, repeat it on the two sides. Connect from your bust to that 0.75 inch you did. Now this is what you want. This is what you do if you know you want your corset very low, because at this point I realized that this will be too low for me. I don't want it to be at my 9 inch mark, but if you use this, it's going to give it that bra shape look, and it's going to be deep and your cleavage will be revealing. But I decided to change my mind and not to make it to reveal my cleavage. So here's what I did. I went up by 7 inch. Okay, so I started my new overbust tightening at the 7 inches mark because I want it at least a bit covering to cover my cleavage a bit. So at this 7 inches mark is where we'll be plotting our overbust tightening now. So I went in by 0.75 on the two sides, just like we did at the other parts. So just going by 0.75 at the two sides, connect it from that 0.7 inch mark to your bust. Repeat it on the other side too as well. So this will help in maybe giving it a little bit of covering. All right. So I'll be using my curve now and connecting from that overbust tightening part to my armhole. Okay, I'll be repeating the same thing on this side as well, connecting from that half inch mark to that overbust tightening mark that we did. So you can just use a curved ruler depending on what you want to achieve. If you want it curved, if you want it to be a straight mark, all you need is just to connect from that half inch mark to your overbust tightening. That the blouse length for the back was 25 inch and the blouse length for this front is 27 inch. So I'll be making use of the bust dart technique to make sure that it's
matches up. So you want to come down by 2 inch from your bust line, 2 inch from your bust line. Then mark where that 2 inch stops. You'll be connecting and you'll be going in by 1 inch from your bust point. Now from that 1 inch mark, you want to connect it to that 2 inch mark you came down by. This method works perfectly if you are working with a busty person. If you are not working with a busty person, you want to connect from that 2 inch mark to the beginning of your bust point. I'll be showing you what I mean by that later on. So to get the curved part of the hem of this blouse, I went up by 3 inches and I'm connecting it like so. You can make it a curved hem, you can make it straight. At this point, whatever rocks your boat, just do it here. So I just went ahead and I'll be cutting out my pattern. We're almost done with this corset. So just be careful while cutting. I'm cutting out the yoke of my pattern now, and this is the only part I need for the yoke. Now to cut out the cup for the corset, you want to slash through your dart lines carefully so you don't make mistakes. All right, now I'll be closing my bust dart now. If you're working with a busty person, at this point, when before you close your bust dart completely, you want to go in from your bust line by 1 inch, slit that 1 inch part open if you're working with a busty person. But if you're not, just want to measure from that 2 inch line to the beginning of your bust point, just like you see I did now. Slitting it open 1 inch into your bust line helps to give your bust fullness, more fullness. Okay, it adds to the fullness of the cup and makes it fuller if you're working with a busty person. But since I'm not working with a busty person, I just closed it up without slitting it open. All right, so I'll be closing this up now. Because of that bust that we did, we're having just a little bit of space left, so I just went in, added my masking tape and a little bit of pattern paper, and I'm now cross checking what I have to make sure that I'm not short, my measurement does not run small. Okay, so just go ahead now and cut out the rest of your patterns. You want to cut out the parts that are not needed. Just do this carefully. Cut out the cup for the corset as well. So if you notice, there's also a shortage for the cup at the side. So I'll go ahead now and close and complete this, and that's because of the bust that we made. Okay, so if you're having this sort of shortage, just go ahead and connect it again properly so you have your cup fuller like this. Then just go ahead and continue your cutting. Make sure you use your tape to hold that place in. Immediately you are done cutting, make sure you label your patterns so you don't mix them up. Okay, so you want to right side back, your center front. For the cup as well, you want to make use of your arrows to indicate this side is facing up and all. So I'll be transferring my pattern now to my fabrics. Okay, so at the down part I added half of an inch. At the sides I added half of an inch. The zipper part you can use in between 1 inch, 0.75, but for mine I use 0.75. At the upper part as well, I added half of an inch. At the armhole side as well, I added half of an inch. But for the side seams, I used 1.5. So just work with whatever it is, whatever sewing allowance you can work with. Okay. So once you're done adding your seam allowance at the right part, you want to go ahead and cut this out. Okay. Carefully cut them out and make sure you label them so you don't mix it up. For the front as well, I'll be cutting out the fabrics as well. So I just placed my pattern on my fabric and added ½ inch on all sides. Aside from the side seam, I used the same 1.5 I used for the back on it as well. So just go ahead and add your sewing allowance all round. Okay, now for this tutorial, this is where we'll be stopping. Okay, I'll be posting a separate video for the sewing tutorial. Okay, so before that, you want to on your post notification bell so whenever I drop the new video, you will get notified immediately. Here's a snippet on what we'll be doing on our sewing tutorial. I'll be showing you how to make your corset make with your wording. Okay, so if you know you are interested in this tutorial, like, subscribe,
turn on the post notification bell so you'll be informed and notified whenever I post the video and whenever I post any tutorial videos as well. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe.